Hi, there's Life Prepper here and part of my DIY project. These here are coming out, this book here. I really do enjoy this book. Now, I'm always looking at things. Remember, I tell you, books are very important to have on hand in a situation. If the internet goes down, um, power goes out, whatever the reason is, having books on hand is something you can refer yourself back to and have on hand. Now, there's a lot of people who don't even have a book anymore. They count on what they read in their tablets and things of that area. And if it's downloaded, you're fine until the battery goes dead, unless you got backup systems to it. Now, this one here, I found really simple to make. It's simply on, if you don't have a root cellar, it's how to store food that you raise. Now, this is in a shtf event, a WROL event, whatever the reason is. The power's out for 2 or 3 weeks. You have fresh vegetables or whatever you are trying to store and make it last a lot longer. So, all it requires is a tote, dry sand, and newspapers to wrap them in. Okay, so I'm going to try to get this up here where you see it. Now, you see right here, newspapers, notebook paper, whatever it is you have that you can use to wrap this in to put it in a 5-gallon tote. It's really simple, real easy. Now, in a situation like this, it tells you to store only mature plants. Now, they need to be high-quality vegetables. You don't want vegetables that's got rot on them or broken vegetables don't store well, and it should be eaten right away. Now, you need to check on these things ever so often. You need to check on them and make sure they remain fresh. If you start seeing them growing, you start seeing them swivel up or whatever, it's either it's too hot or too cold in the basement area. You can also, if you have just a crawl space under your house, again, that's something you can consider using. Depends on where you're at. Or you can find a place in your house somewhere that's reasonably controlled or whatever, maybe in a closet, maybe, but the fact is fixing an area, a little mini root cellar to help prolong the vegetables and stuff that you have, make them last a lot longer. So in a situation where the power and everything, that because in a matter of days, the vegetables are going to go bad if you don't have a way to prepare them. Now, does it mean it's going to work for every one of them? I'm not saying it will. The thing is, you got to cut the tops off. Potatoes will store for long periods of time. You can store your carrots. You can store, maybe tomatoes or whatever. What it is the sand acts as a cooling effect to it to help store it. It's like people make makeshift refrigerators with sand and clay pots and stuff to help keep the food fresh. And plus, it keeps them, to last longer. Wrap them up in newspaper and place them in there to end the system. How long it lasts, I'm not quite certain, but it will last a lot longer than if you didn't have a place to store these things. This here is something you want to consider. It's real simple, like I said. You just want a tote, whether it's a 5-gallon tote or a smaller tote, whatever you feel comfortable with or whatever you got on hand, dry sand, and some papers. Don't have to be newspaper. It can be any kind of paper. It can be notebook paper. It can be, paper towel paper, whatever you need to wrap them up with. And you want to make sure it's thoroughly wrapped up. You don't want it halfway wrapped up. If you see here, it's just like wrapping a Christmas present right here. You can see right here that made certain all of it's closed up in the situation. And you do not want to destroy the papers. You're just wrapping them up. You can reuse the papers over and over again until there's no more use for them. And the same for the sand. The sand can be reused over. This here will suffice and keep your food fresher during the winter months. You can place them in a storage area somewhere in your house, underneath the crawl space, under your house. You can place them in your basement. there. So you've got this mini root cellar here that will make your vegetables and stuff, your fresh vegetables and everything, last a lot longer. It don't matter where you're living at. You could be living, Alaska and some of the coldest areas there is, but you could have a corner somewhere where you can keep the food fresh longer. So you can have fresh vegetables and stuff in a situation where there is no power and stuff, or even if there is power and you want to make sure you're on a budget and you want to keep this stuff last a lot longer. So it's real simple. It just simply says, shows how to set it up, and 5-gallon bucket, sand, paper, basic common sense with it. Snip the greens off. Don't put in the bad stuff in there. Don't put anything that's broken in there. Check it from time to time and make sure it's fresh and situation so it'll last you a lot longer, so you can have fresh vegetables to last you a lot longer in a situation where you're without power and stuff for long periods of time. Simple, easy project. So this here is a DIY project. Live prepper. Be safe. Be happy. Bless you all.